Shalom, YouTube. This is Sister T.
Sister Ebony.
Sister Lydia.
And welcome again to The Rock. So today, what are we talking about, sisters?
We are talking about wives being helpmeets to our husbands and our function, and not allowing the enemy to use us to attack our masters or our husbands, because our husband already has those spiritual attacks, those people that are attacking him, especially taking it from our standpoint, from our lives, our master and his platform and what Yah has for him to do, and how he's bringing out truth, and he's Yah is using him to give the truth out on his channel and freeing a lot of people from bondage, from other people, um, other people that are not living the truth, not spreading the truth, and keeping people in bondage.
So it's really just about being a support to your master, to your husband, and being vigilant, watching out for those spiritual attacks. Is the enemy using you? Is the enemy using the children? Are you able to maintain the direction of the household according to your master or husband?
Yes. So when we talk also about, spiritual attacks, we know the Bible says that as women, we are the weaker vessel. And so if men have a mission from Yah or a task given from Yah that they have to complete, and you are the weaker vessel, just like the enemy crept in on Eve, so shall he do the same with you. And a lot of times we think that we're experiencing some type of maybe emotions or frustration or just some sort of feeling or emotion we have inside, because if you have sisters, maybe my sister made me feel some sort of way, or maybe the way our master did something or spoke to me or something made me feel some sort of way, or corrected me in something made me feel some sort of way. And when you entertain that emotion, when you don't deal with it for what it is, receiving the correction as what it is and moving forward, or if you are holding on to these emotions and thoughts and feelings and bending your emotions, then at that point you are becoming a target of the enemy, to where he knows now he has access to your master's home through you and use you to destroy or tear down everything or distract your master from his task. And that's what we wanted to share and talk about, how we need to be on guard and be aware of, because in the middle of having your emotions or feelings or being upset or frustrated, those are the things that we don't think about. Those are not necessarily at the forefront of our mind, that we were destroying or tearing down as wives our master's home, or distracting him in any way. You may think that you're just in a funk, or maybe you feel like you have a reason to be, but nevertheless, the enemy, as the Bible says, walk around as a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour. And so we just wanted to share that as weaker vessels, we will be a target. Our children, if we're weak, our children are young, they're weak, and so we don't keep it together, neither will they.
I was just going to mention that when you were talking about distractions, that brought to mind when Sister Lydia had asked our master about a verse in Proverbs 6 about being loud.
Oh, Proverbs 7.
Proverbs 7 about a woman being loud. And when we looked into the meaning and the definition of that being loud, it wasn't just a loud, boisterous woman, just loud and sound or whatever. Loud can just be in your demeanor. It can be silent in your demeanor, how you're acting or whatever. So you can be a distraction in that way. If you are being corrected or anything, something's going on with you where your spirit is not right, and you're not in the right mood. You're walking around with attitude, not speaking or however, but you're not being actually loud and yelling or whatever, but you're your spirit is loud and how your demeanor is and your countenance and everything, then you become that distraction. So that was good. And that was a good lesson right there, in just looking behind that definition of what a loud woman is, and how that can be a distraction. It's not just what we think of as a loud yelling woman, not, causing all this commotion and stuff like that. It can be just in your demeanor and how you carry yourself, your countenance, and all of that. You can still be a distraction to the household, to your husband, to the vision, and be the enemy is using you in that way. So I just wanted to share that real quick. I thought that was interesting. Maybe y'all can look into it. Proverbs 7.
Yes, Proverbs 7, verse 11.
And depending on what we choose as we're learning to dwell on in our mind, it's usually what's causing these distractions. I mean, because whatever we're choosing to think about, or allowing ourselves to think about, or allowing things to be in our mind, or our way of seeing something, usually what it is too, our way of how we see a situation or a particular issue, that
to the word and to our master.
Yes, and the contrary to maybe his viewpoint, judgment, whatever, usually becomes a distraction to everyone else, to the home, to the master. And every day you live, you have an expectation to live up to. You have a duty, you have a responsibility, and those moments become big things. As we talked about before in a prior video, those little things become big things, and they'll manifest in time, and then they'll throw off the flow. They'll throw off your master from whatever he had going on. They'll throw off even other sisters who are there to help push your master's vision. So if we're not careful, you can be single-handedly, or when it's three of you, the enemy have lots of opportunities for weaker vessels. So that's why we have to be even that much more attentive, paying attention, be mindful, helping each other, because if he's attacking your sister, sure enough, if you available, he coming after you next, and if you're not careful, he could just go through each sister if he wants to, depending on who's available, who's, what he said, he walks around as a roaring lion seeking whom he may devour. If you are open to be devoured, he's coming. And sometimes we have to just be mindful and even help each other. Hey, you looking like you're in a funk. Yeah. Let's fix this. Because you go down, you causing the house to go down, and you causing master to go down. And sometimes, we need to be that support for each other so we can be back on task and on top of things.
So very true. Understanding that your role is to help him, to provide him peace, to provide him with rest. And if you get caught up, or your sister gets caught up, depending on what kind of household you are in, you are then stealing time away from your master, getting the things that Yah has put on him to do.
I was saying to the sisters right before we did the videos, there was something as we were talking, discussing what we're going to discuss in here, but not just hindering or taking away from our master's vision, but the people that our master is helping and freeing, we're actually stealing from them also, because it's a lot of people. If our master didn't have this channel, or if he didn't speak the truth that he did, a lot of people would be lost, or not able to seek for themselves the truth, not being able to see it from another point of view, or opening their minds or thinking for themselves, and being deceived. A lot of those people, they wouldn't have that chance, so to speak, because of our master's channel and who he reaches. And any other husband or master who has a vision and a purpose, there are people that he is going to be, that Yah is using them to speak to, or to help, and to bring truth to. So I just wanted to mention that also.
So I just will say this last thing. Just understand the role that your husband or your master, whatever he chooses or wants you to call him, understand the role and the position that he has, and then understand your purpose, your position, and what you were there for. And make sure that stays at the forefront of your mind so that you do not forget and you are not drawn away from it.
You're a wife, you're a helpmeet. A wife, you bring your husband peace. You're there to double his years.
Support him in all that he's doing.
And I would say with that before we end too, and in those things, take time if you can to find out like what are those things, in what ways your master is using you or want to use you to bring him that life, that peace, that to double his years, and what things that you do that he finds that could be not doubling his years or causing him peace. You'll be surprised on the things that a man or a master would say that does not allow him to get peace. And that's through just lots of experience or asking our master's questions. Sometimes you will ask and he'll say something very that you'll think is random, very small, like that took away your peace. I mean, it wasn't anything. You may feel that way because you may not see it as something big, but to him it can be very, very huge. And we have been taught what that things are little. This thing over here is little compared to this thing that's over here big. We've been raised that way, that some things are little and some things are big, but big and small is not defined by you yourself. Big and small is defined by the one who is over you, the one who you are working for, the one you are meant for, the one who rules you, the one who leads you. So,
all right.
that's it.
We hope you found this helpful. We hope everyone has a blessed prep day, restful Shabbat. We hope you have a productive next week. All right, we bid you all shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom.